Say, my mama didn't teach me to do this. My father didn't teach me to do that. But one thing you will learn is most things that you have learned, close that door. Most things that you have learned by observation. Not so much somebody set you down and told you, when you go in the bathroom, this is what you do. Mama didn't go in the bathroom in the urinal and tell you how to stand up to the urinal. But you walked in there and observed other men going to that urinal, and just by observation, there are things taught to you. Some of your greatest lessons will be learned by observation. So that's why, again, it matters what's modeled before you in the home. Because even if daddy don't tell you not to talk, but you're raised in a home where mama did a bunch of fussing, and daddy just sat there and looked at her, you in your immature mind as a child, and always remember that, you think that you may not have been taught things, but remember who you are at 30, who you are at 40, who you are at 50 is not who you were at 5. It's not who you were at 10. It's not who you were at 15. So there are things that has been imprinted on your heart and imprinted in your soul that was imprinted by, somebody shout, observation.
Observation.
But because our homes are divided, because there's only father, or because there's only mother in the home, you don't have a good picture of what mama is supposed to treat daddy, how daddy is to treat mama. You don't even have a picture of that, so you don't have nothing to observe. And we live in a culture now where men are more focused on their careers, they're focused on their job. Let me say this, you can have a husband and wife in a home, and still you observe from that to never be home as a man. Because you had a father who was always gone, who was always working. And because he was always working, you know, again, our culture, slavery pushed us out. And because slavery pushed us out, men were more focused on their jobs than they were on their family.
Amen.
And they are more focused, watch this, on provision than they are presence. So now men feel like provision substitutes the place of presence. But your children would rather your presence than your provision. They'd rather you be in there for them. You might not be able to give them the biggest car, the biggest house, the nicest clothes, but the mere fact that they have the presence of their father, that means a whole lot. It's the power of what presence can do. Let's go to Exodus chapter 1. Let me show you something. Exodus chapter 1, verse 11. Whoever has it, read Exodus chapter 1, verse 11. What does it say?
Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses. Both the more afflicted them. The more they multiplied and grew, and they were grieved because the children of Israel. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage, in mortar and in brick, and in all manner of services in the field, and all services wherein they made themselves serve was with rigor. And with the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of one of the Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be his son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then they shall live.
Now what I want you to see is when they were getting ready to try to bring bondage on the children of Israel, they used work to destroy the home. It was work that was used to destroy, the Egyptians. They said, we're going to use work. We're going to give them assignments and cause the man to be gone so that when they get ready to come in and take the sons, there's no protection for the boys. So the best way to do that is to cause the man to leave. The only one home is mother. They come in and destroy the boys, and the sons have no protection. So Moses ends up in the wrong hands because there's no papa in the house. Are y'all understanding that? Are y'all getting that?
Yes.
Yeah. So I want you to understand that it matters. Your presence. All of that matters. And don't get so caught up. Some of you that have sons, and some of you were raised in homes where daddy did a lot of working, but didn't spend no time with you. Or you may be a man who has children, and you work, and you feel like because you work, that's substitute. But I'm telling you, the best way for the enemy to destroy a home is to eliminate the presence of the man out of the house. Let's go back to Exodus chapter 1 and read verse 10. Look at what it said.
Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when they fall out on any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land.
So Pharaoh say, I have to get rid of the children. And the way to get rid of the children is to put the men to work. I'm going to say something strong. And the way to destroy the children is to put the men to work and to leave the women in charge. And the way you destroy